So you know the ones when you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune. That's my tune. Hey, this is Jojo B and this is the third episode of That's My Tune. The first two episodes we have been on the UK R&B tip. Well, this time I decided to take it back into time, switch the vibe and delve into hip hop. Oh yes, we are going to talk about one of the most legendary hip hop artists in the game. He has been doing this thing for over 2 decades. He is the one, he is the only Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. So one time, no, it's not that one today. It's funny because when Busta Rhymes came to my mind, I was thinking, what song can I talk about? Because he has many hits. And one of the songs that came to me is dun 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 dun. I mean, because the beat alone it just gets in your chest and you just start bouncing your shoulders. But I couldn't do that one today. I have chosen the song Everything Remains Raw. That song is special to me. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with that one. Maybe another time we'll talk about Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, because that one is also legendary. That one, I mean, the video alone is iconic. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just absolutely iconic. But not today, not today. I'm going to let the song Everything Remains Raw play. And then when I come back, we're going to talk about it more. By the way, if you have any younglings around, any young kids, you know, just get them to cover their ears or send them to the room for like 3 or 4 minutes, you know, because this one's the explicit version. There was no clean version, so I apologize. So have they gone? Have you hidden them? Have you sent them to the room? Are they gone? They're good? All right, let's play the song. Everything Remains Raw. I'll be right back after this. Busta Rhymes, Everything Remains Raw. I mean, who was feeling it? Who was nodding their head to it? Who had a screw face? Who had a stank face? Because I was. Anytime you listen, that's all you feel. That's all you want to do. Like I said, I chose this song because it's special to me. And part of the reason why it's special to me is because of how I discovered it in the first place. Who remembers The Box? The Box. Music television, you control. I mean, that was one of the few ways, that music channel was one of the few ways that you could watch music videos apart from MTV. There was nothing like YouTube. No. You had to have cable in order to watch The Box. And I was privileged to have one of those. Thank you, parents. Thank you. So, how I discovered it. Now, we all remember Busta Rhymes' Woo Hard Got You All in Check, right? Okay. So, before that song, there was an intro. Yeah? So, Busta Rhymes and his friend, they're driving. It's nighttime. And you have that classic fisheye. Shout out to Hype Williams who directed the video, and the visual artist was Ron Norsworthy. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But yes, it's nighttime. Busta Rhymes and his friend, they're in the car, they're driving. Yo, and the tune drops. So Busta Rhymes is rapping, he's rapping, and I'm feeling the tune and I'm feeling it. And then, like, he does part of the first verse, goes into the to the chorus, and then it cuts and then goes into Woo Hard Got You All in Check. Anytime I saw that video, I mean, Woo Hard's a tune, but it was that first song that was interesting. I was like, what song is this? This tune is big. Like the beat alone just grabbed me. I was like, I need to find, and for ages I couldn't find the song. I didn't know how to, because again, there was no YouTube, there was none of that stuff at the time. This was like 1996 when this tune dropped, 96, 97. So I'm just like, anytime I would just rely on that little snippet. I was thinking, I didn't even know there was a whole song for it. I just thought, you know, maybe it was just an intro specifically for that video. So for many years, I'm there just wondering, where can I hear this song again? And then lo and behold, I think it might have been YouTube one day, many years later, I must have stumbled across it. I can't remember how, but I tell you what, once I discovered that Everything Remains Raw was an actual whole song, I was so happy, so pleased. I was like, okay. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but the instrumental's also on YouTube. And sometimes I just love listening to the instrumental because the beat, I will get to the beat in a moment. So Everything Remains Raw is just, it's dope. So let's talk about the lyrics. So let's take this one, for example. One more time I come, knucklehead flow that will make you act real dumb. Now, knucklehead is basically slang for stupid, right? So basically he's saying that his flow is stupid. And it kind of makes sense because in this song, his cadence is not the same. It changes throughout the song. And it's kind of stupid in the sense that it's like it's mischievous. Like, you know, a little child that's like always moving around. They're playing games with you. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but I get what he's trying to say. And even in the video, when you watch, like I mentioned, Everything Remains Rules at the beginning of Woo-Ha, right? When he says knucklehead flow that will make you act real dumb, you see him using his hands to bang his head like you're a stupid person. So I definitely get what he's trying to say there. I like this one here as well. I be the mostest with rhyme overdoses, hop stepping over ish like any commoses. Shout out to murderer, murder. Oh, sorry. But then there's this one as well, yeah. Sick lyrics like multiple sclerosis. Focus while I display flows ferocious. Now let's rewind that. Let's rewind. Whoa. Sick lyrics like multiple sclerosis. Oh! And let me just say, I'm not trying to imitate his flow here. So if you expect me, no. I'm just literally reading the lyrics that I like. So please don't expect perfectionism from me. Okay? Right. If you want that, go listen to Busta Rhymes again. But sick lyrics like multiple sclerosis. Listen, yeah. Like when I clocked that, I was like, this guy. I must also say that I like the hook. I like the chorus. I make sure everything remains raw. I make sure it's simple, it's repetitive, it's effective. You know, sometimes you just there and you're just saying, I make sure everything remains raw. The chorus is not overcomplicated. It's just right for the song because in the verses, he has so much to say. So having a simple chorus, it balances it out. So the first verse, I talked about some of the lyrics that I liked. If you look at the second verse now I got your brains fried. Want to inhale smoke from my flow, carbon monoxide. Use your imagination. Let me take you higher. Rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, earth, wind and fire. Shout out to my favorite band in a way, Earth, Wind and Fire. But I think this one here, days of my life goes on. Word is born. I make you feel my proton, neutron and electron. Yo, I be the number one icon. Word to the Holy Quran. I rock on and on. On and on. Hey, on and on and on. Ah. You won't understand when I form my Voltron. I told you, don't expect perfectionism from me, okay? But my point is, like, we could sit here and decode his lyrics all day because I was going through his lyrics and I was trying to work out which quotes, and there are like so many. But let's talk about the beat. In case you didn't know, I'm a music producer, okay? So I'm a beat first, lyrics second type of lady, yeah? So if you want to get my attention, give me a good beat first. Now, shout out to Easy Mo B who produced this song, yeah? I love this beat because when you're listening to Busta Rhymes, he's hype, the correct level of hype, yeah? His lyrics are everywhere in a good way. He's spitting fire. But then the beat is like, the beat is smooth, it's silky, it's immersive, it's hard-hitting. And I don't know how Easy Moby was able to capture all of that, but I think it's great. Like when I listen to it, I just lose myself in it, and you feel the bass too. It sounds like a collection of samples were put together. I'm very, very sure that's what he did, because when I'm listening to it, it's like I'm hearing tiny elements that were weaved together. And I love producers like that. Now, some people might say that producers who rely heavily on samples or just use samples alone, they're not real producers. But I don't believe that. If you're a producer who knows how to use samples very well, I rate you. I really do. For you to be able to take one sample from one song, one sample from another, or sometimes you can take samples from one song. You can take multiple samples from one song and still make it into something that's original. That is skill. That is skill. And to be able to load it onto your sampler and then be able to, tweak the pitch and all these different other things and make it into something completely new. I love things like that. So I am all for producers, making tunes from scratch, those who are actually musicians who can do that. And that's skill in itself, but there's nothing wrong with sampling when it's done the right way. So shout out to Easy Mo B. Because I'd love to know if I were able to get Busta Rhymes and Easy Mo B to talk to them about this song, I'd love to know the processes they went through. I'd love to know, because I'd love to know how they came together to put this together. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to know what they went through separately. Like, I'd love to know Busta Rhymes' mindset, where his head was at writing this song. Did somebody annoy him to write that? Because it sounds like he's challenging a lot of people. Wait. What do I mean? It sounds like he's challenging people. He is challenging people. I mean, when Busta Rhymes is saying stuff like, yo, watch me bring the newest recipe, F you up quick and condemn you all with leprosy. Let me hit you with flows that come various, send you home and make you lie about your alias. I mean, come on, you're clearly... So I want to know if somebody stepped to him and challenged him to write these fire lyrics or something. Like, I need to know, but I'll never know because I can't talk to him. So all I can do is assume. That's all I can do. This is hilarious. I love this stuff. I really, really do. So I'm just here like, Busta Rhymes, what were you thinking at the time? Easy Mo B, what was your process? How were you able to get those samples and weave them together? Like, how did you know that this was going to work? Like, there's so many questions. I mean, I'm not that big to be able to get Busta Rhymes on a Zoom phone call and speak to him. I wish I was, maybe one day. But yes, Everything Remains Raw is one of my favorite songs of Busta Rhymes. And I think because of the way I found it and having to hear just that snippet for so long, is that once I found the actual full length song, it's just like, yes, finally. It's like when you've been deprived of something for so long and then when you finally get it, you just overdose on it or something. But you know what? I'm so glad that Busta Rhymes is still relevant even now. I mean, for example, I had the privilege of being able to see him in concert 4 years ago. Remember when we were able to go to concerts freely? And he was at the Indigo too, and he was celebrating 25 years in the game at the time. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, this guy has done so well for himself. He was loosely associated with not a Tribe Called Quest. He was loosely associated with the Native Tongues. Then he had a group, Leaders of the New School. Then he went solo on his own. And for him to be able to go through those transitions and get to the status where he's at, I think that's absolutely amazing. To the point where, since we've all been on lockdown and all the rest of it, you know, there's been verses that's been put together by the great Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. And it's been entertaining us throughout the year. And there has been a petition, if you like, for Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott. And Busta Rhymes was like, he would love to do verses with Missy Elliott. And he feels like it won't be a competition, but more like a celebration of the work that they've put together, you know, as artists. And if you've lived through the Busta Rhymes / Missy Elliott era, like myself, you would know that, for example, their music videos have been so iconic. Like, they weren't afraid to put their wild concepts out there and just push the envelope and spend so much to produce quality. Like, their videos still to this day is like, those two, when it comes to music videos, second to none. I don't think anybody could stop that. And for them to be able to collaborate with people like Hype Williams and, you know, so they're just incredible. And I'd love to see that versus. With, so versus, if you're hearing this, please get Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott together. Thank you. And if you'd like to know, Busta Rhymes has also dropped a new album as well. And I had a little listen to it. The album is called Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God. And the two tracks that have stuck out to me so far are Out of My Mind featuring Bell with DeVoe and Don't Go, Busta Rhymes and Q-Tip. So I'm yet to listen to the rest of the album and fully take it in. But if you're interested, check it out. So I'm glad that Busta Rhymes is still relevant and he's still putting out projects. And let's see how far and how long he continues for. So I hope you enjoyed my analysis of Everything Remains Raw, because I did. So thank you, Busta Rhymes and Easy Mo B, for that. When you listen to it, you're just nodding your head. Like I always reference the video, because when you're watching that snippet, like, you see Busta Rhymes and his friend and they're just nodding along to the beat as Busta Rhymes is rhyming, and it just makes you nod your head as well. I mean, imagine seeing that in a concert, Like, imagine a big stadium and that tune is just bumping and you just see enough heads just nodding their heads. Oh, that would be great. So that's the end of episode 3. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, you can, Ms. Jojo B, MZJOJOB. And you can follow That's My Tune in the following ways. That's My Tune Pod on Twitter. That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram. And you can also email at that'smytunepodcast@gmail.com. Episode 4 will be out next week. We'll be back on the R&B tip again with another well-known artist. Who are they? You'll have to find out. I'm not going to tell you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Bye.